This Albion Online video is about how content creators are abandoning the game in droves, and this is just a talking video. We're going to be talking about the content creator exodus and what it means for the game. We're going to be talking about the haters, both on Reddit and streamers, of myself and the game. And then I'm going to talk about the current state of the game and how it compares to other similar games in the space. So first, let's just get this one out of the way. Creators are fed up with Albion and they're trying to jump ship. They're trying to play new games. They're trying to drag their audience to other games. They're trying to basically keep their head above water because Albion is a forever and endless sinking ship that bobs up and down out of the water, you know, slowly drowning you, but then letting you live just long enough for the next content update, right? So, what is going on right now? Well, there is a Chinese copycat Albion called Warborn Above Ashes that just went free to try out on Steam for like a whole month, and everyone on Twitch left Albion to go play it. And I'm going to tell you right now, that game is absolute garbage. The only thing that Warborn Above Ashes has going for it is the graphics. Like, Albion is crappy, you know, kind of RuneScape-y looking garbage graphics in Unity, right? Whereas Warborn is more space sci-fi, it's more polished looking. However, the sound design is ass. The UI is the worst I've ever seen in such a game. The gameplay is boring and dull, and the music and sound effects, like I said, suck. Alright, but everyone is like frothing at the mouth about this game, and like the entire Twitch catalog for English speakers for Albion, they all dumped this game to go play that. And I think it's just funny because I'm the one creator that's not in like Albion's special little program where they get a special little Discord and a round table and they can coordinate with each other and get giveaway codes. I'm excluded from all of that because I am a brand risk, because that's what the people have deemed, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But it's funny that all their loyal little creators have just dumped them to go play something else. It's almost like karma. It's almost like karma, but it's not just Warborn. It's other games as well. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes because I'm not part of it, but they're all doing it all at once. It's really weird. The top streamers in the Twitch category are the AFK streams and the official Albion TV channel. That's it. Like, everyone else is streaming to less than 10 people, right? And when I stream, and I streamed the other day, I stream here on YouTube, not on Twitch, and, you know, I got up to like 100-something viewers, and I haven't streamed in a full year, and I just sat in town and did nothing. And I'm getting over 100 viewers, right? Like, imagine if I actually played the game, right? But I just think it's funny that all of Albion's most loyal, signed-up creators, part of the program, just at the flip of a light switch, dropped the game. And yeah, they're coming back. Of course, everyone comes back. You're here forever. You're never leaving. You know, the Simpsons meme where Homer's got his, like, little poster up on the work wall. But essentially, there's no loyalty with them. No loyalty, no love. Like, if a dev showed me love and loyalty and, you know, gave me giveaway codes, why would I abandon them for another game, right? I'd be sold. I'd be like, yeah, Albion forever, bros. But either they're fed up with the game, and they are. There's actually, you know, a few of them, they're like, I'm quitting Albion. We'll talk about that, too, because they're hating on me, and they're part of the hater segment coming up here in just a bit. But isn't it funny that the game is in such a bad state? The stock price is in the toilets. The CEO stepped down. There's a whole lot going on with the game. It's just a big freaking mess. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. What do you think? What do you guys think that all these creators are jumping ship? Do you think that Warborn is paying them? They're not. And you're maybe asking, why didn't I go over to Warborn? You know, you would jump at the chance for an Albion clone to, you know, shill that and watch Albion die and drown or whatever. And the thing is that Warborn chose them over me, essentially, because they want to go with the mass approach. Instead of one big creator, they just want a whole bunch of little baby creators. And the thing is that I was the first person to jump on the Warborn ship. You know, I was all for it, except the devs ignored me for one of their first playtests and instead invited a bunch of stupid guilds to do it instead of me, the biggest creator of you know, their rival game. But it is what it is. It's their loss. I'm not going to suck toes, and I'm not going to bend the knee to commies, so it is what it is. Their loss, and the game is garbage, and I'm not leaving Albion for Warborn. Sorry, that's just how it is. You're stuck here with me forever. Alright, let's give a quick pass at talking about some of the haters, because they always like boil over and make a big stink of things, and then I snuff them out in a video. I basically have to do this. I have to do this to protect my brand and set the record straight, and all my fans know what I truly am and how I truly feel about things, and that a lot of it is just haters, impersonators, and fake screenshots of stuff. None of it's actually real, and we have to talk about it, because if I don't, then it boils over too much. And right now, it kind of has boiled over to the point where someone broke into my mailbox, I think, or something, and they took $200 that my family mails me to help, buy food and pay bills. So I am out that money in real life, and I have to figure out what to do about it. But don't worry, I'm pretty street savvy. I'll figure something out, lads. But of course, if you're very well off, then it is what it is. I'm not gonna ask for your money. I'll figure it out myself. Anyway, let's get to the haters. I just want to let you know that yes, I do get attacked in real life based on literal Redditors spreading false info. But let's get into it. And normally I would post screenshots of these Reddit threads, but I don't want to give them the time of day, because what I think that does is they're like, oh, I made it in a Swole Benji video, and then they keep doing it, right? So I'm not going to show any screenshots. I'm just going to read it out and then explain. So hater number 1 says that I have legitimate mental issues, and I never understood where this really came from. People like I have a clean bill of health mentally, of course. I don't have autism. I know I joke about having like super autism and stuff. It's just memes. All right, I don't have Asperger's. I don't have any mental issues. I'm not a schizo, even though I roleplay as one for fun sometimes. It's not a real thing, guys. It's literally ones and zeros in a video game. Calm your tits. Okay, it's, I do not have mental issues. I am normal. And then the same person falsifies and says that I go around to different Discords and ask questions, and say weird things about superiority over others, which I don't. I have never done that. I don't even join Discords, all right? Now, you guys have to realize there are a lot of Swole Benji impersonators out there. There is so many of them, and they are ruthless and relentless. And it's not me, for one. Like, I streamed the other day on YouTube, and one guy was talking about how he moderated a Discord server of mine for over a year. And I was like, no you didn't. I've never had a Discord mod on any server that I've been on, ever. I've never even owned a Discord server. I've always just joined other people's servers that made like a fan server to hang out in, right? I have never modded anyone on a server. And this guy, for a full year, thought that we were like best friends and that he was one of the top moderators of a Discord server. And I was like, no, you have been misled by probably Droopy Worm or someone, or that Swole Ben JJ. It's the same guy. I don't know, but there's so many freaking impersonators. And yes, they're out here in the game scamming people. They are like, I can't talk in the game, so I can't scam anyone, and I wouldn't scam anyone. I don't need to. Look, I am wealthy. I have 17 rewards here. These are all 500 gold rewards. Okay, like look at my gold, 18,750. 19,250, 19,750. Look at my money just go up, right? That was 17 rewards right there, okay? How much money is that? 17 times 500, that's 8,500 gold. 8,500 gold is worth 66 million silver. I don't need to scam anybody. And this is every day. Every day I have, like, usually more than this, okay? Like, every day I log in, boom. I get almost, 100 million worth of freaking silver in rewards. And then the same person says that I use my following to upsetty spaghetti people that I don't like. No, I don't. All right, I've never done that. Now, I am a video game troll, but I don't use my audience to troll. Not once, not ever. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about that stream snipe thing? Here's the thing, right? I was paying people 10 million silver to stream snipe people with like one viewer. And the thing is, no one was able to do it. Like, there was like a brand new player in 4.1, like, nature staff build doing a dungeon in a red zone. And they would go in with like 6'1", 6'2", Boa Badon and stuff. And they would die. They would get beat up and lose their gear. And it, like, that never came, nothing ever came of that. Ever, 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 ever. And then you also have the people from Nizori's camp saying that I used my audience to beat him up in the yellow zone, which was not the case. If you watched his stream, he flagged up on me. I was just in the group dungeon, and there was some other people also in the group dungeon who noticed that he was streaming and wanted to take part of it. They flagged up on us. We didn't flag up on them. and he doesn't own the yellow zone. He doesn't own the group dungeon he was in. And after a few times of him getting down because he sucks at the game and his gear was ass, we all left and left him alone because it was very clear that he didn't want to do dungeons with his viewers or whatever. I don't even understand the hate. When I'm just on screen, like if I'm just a background character and he's streaming, you can just see his face go sour. And then he has all of these things where he's like, oh, he's a mental case. He's special needs. And oh, he's a really bad person. I don't know why he's not banned yet. Like, I have never spoken to him ever. And I've never played with him ever. And I've never done anything against him really ever. I just defended myself in the yellow zone once. And the dude is mauling over it to this freaking day. I don't get it. His wife was in my Discord server for 2 years and she never posted. And that's another thing too. They say that like, oh, I'm in this really evil Discord server where we do bad things and troll and stuff. And no, if anything bad happened in the server, she was in it for 2 years and she would have taken, there would be screenshots, there would be video proof and stuff. Nothing happened. When the server that I was in was open to everyone to join, there was no questionnaire, there was no moderation. People just posted like soy jack memes and just, you know, talked about their real life job, like working at Subway and stuff, and talked about like pets and video games. There was nothing weird, right-winged, alt-right, nothing crazy going on. It was just video games and memes. It was very complete harmless stuff. So I don't know where people are getting this crazy idea. What they're doing is they're trying to paint a negative narrative to dissuade people who can't do their own research or who blindly believe things. They parrot, like they think if they say something enough times, it will become true, and it's never going to become true, okay? Because that's just not how it works. And they say, I target other content creators. No, I don't. They all target me. Every single content creator that I have ever talked to, like, my default stance towards another person is nice. Whenever, like, I first make contact with somebody, I am nice, I am chill, I am laid back, I am not aggressive, I am not out in their face or out to get them or make them look bad or talk down to them. I'm just like, oh yeah, I just assume they're a cool guy because they're playing the same game as me. And what ends up happening is if I reach out to someone, well, they can't be nice to me because it would upset their friendship circle that they're already in. You know how it is. Like, in school, if you were like a cool kid, you were part of the cool kids club, and you hung out with a nerd, it made you look bad. So they can't hang out or associate with me because it's schoolyard rules. Another one says that I say wild stuff in my videos. No, I usually show proof, and I show what's going on in the game, like, here's a good way to make silver, you know, fame farm, etc., etc., and what are these wild things I'm saying? What? The truth? The things that, how I feel about the state of the game? And I don't know what these wild things are, but when you ask these Redditors, when you ask them, can you say some of these wild things? What are the wild things being said? They have nothing. They have no proof. They're just basically throwing their shot in the dark and hoping that someone just blindly believes them. Then someone says that I'm using a position to talk crap to others. Here's the thing. If I've ever talked crap about someone, they started it. I have never openly talked crap about anyone ever that didn't throw the first punch. What? Because I have more subscribers or viewers or watch time that I'm not allowed to punch back? That's not how this works. You can't hate on me and then expect me not to defend myself, all right? That's not a thing. That is it's so confusing to me that people think this. They're like, oh, well, you should just ignore them. No, they're punching up to me. They're gonna get punched back, and they'll say things like, oh, he is hateful. He is hateful. It's like, no, I'm not. I am, dude. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in poverty, and I still am. You have to realize that we have a little bit of a different mindset than the majority of people that... Okay, the streamers and YouTubers, they are all upper middle class, every single one of them. There's not a single one that lives in squalor or poverty like I do. And they really look down on me for that. And I don't look down on them for them being lucky and privileged and stuff. It's whatever, right? But essentially, they just assume. They're like, oh, well, he's poor, so he must be this. It's really messed up. And then when you ask these Redditors for any kind of proof, they're like, I'm not gonna supply proof. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit here and prove this. And then people love to hate on the questionnaire. I get it. They don't like to deal with rejection. But here's the thing. I don't like to deal with having both of our time wasted to the point where we become enemies over it. Like, let me give you a little story, right? And so, early on in the internet, in my earlier years, I went to like a StarCraft forum, and I made some friends, supposedly, right? And over the course of time, everyone grew up, and they started families, and went to college, and started businesses, and, went on to do adult, real-life things. And what's funny is that a lot of them all keep in contact, and they still play games with each other, but not me. Not me. And why is that? Because I never got to do the big boy upper middle class things that they do. And so I simply, at the end of the day, we just weren't compatible. Now, why were they friends, or why were they considered friends? Well, because we played video games and they needed a tank, or they needed a healer for some old MMORPG like Night Online or something, or they needed a 4th or 5th for a StarCraft match or World of Warcraft, whatever have you, right? And so this cycle repeated perpetually, all right? Tell me, all your game, like, for those that are grown-ups, not people that are still teenagers or young, for those that are listening to this, that are grown men or women, whatever, doesn't matter, how many people that you were friends with on an online video game when you were a teenager or even a child, how many of them are you still friends with in your adult years? All right, I'm really curious, because a lot of people don't understand. Someone like me, I want high-value, forever friends. I don't want temporary friends. I don't look at people as a cog in a machine. I'm like, oh, I need a healer. Let's DM this guy on AOL Instant Messenger or Steam or Ventrilo or whatever, or now Discord, of course. There's always something new. And the Discord is dying. We'll have something new that replaces it pretty soon in the next couple of years. Mark my words. And yeah, the system perpetuates. But what I'm trying to say is that how many of them are still around after all these years? Because for me, none. None. So what that tells me is that I wasted all of that time, energy, and effort playing with these people for nothing, for absolutely nothing. Because to me, all I was to them is their healer, their tank, an extra body to fill the lobby with. Someone just to be there to help DPS down a dragon or something. I wasn't an actual friend. I wasn't an actual person that they consider. Ask your friends, like, let me just ask you right now. The guy that heals you in a dungeon, the guy that's been healing you for the past couple months in a dungeon, he's your healer, you say he's your friend. What's his favorite food? What's some movies he's seen recently? What's something interesting in his life that this happened? You probably can't answer, because you're looking at people as coworkers. You're looking at people as business partners in a virtual video game, and that's not what I want. So the questionnaire exists to make sure that we are compatible, so that we can be friends for forever, even beyond death. After we're dead and we're moving on to some other weird life thing or whatever, afterlife, whatever you believe in, all right? I want to keep people around as long as freaking possible, okay? I don't want some temporary friend that's just there to help me progress my video game character that won't matter in 10 years, okay? That's exactly why the questionnaire exists. And also, it exists so that our feelings don't get hurt from each other. For instance, I had a guy email me, and he was like, "You're never going to read this or watch my video." He linked a video. He did a stream for the first time. Dude, I read every email. I check everything out that people send me. And you know what he did? About 1 minute into the video that he linked me, he hits a vape pen. I think vaping is disgusting, gross, unhealthy, and only people that do not care about their health and body and longevity smoke, do drugs, vape. All right, for me, that is a disgrace and it's a betrayal of your own body. All right, and so for something like that, I'm not gonna butter this guy and be like, yeah, we could be the bestest of friends ever. And you may be thinking, oh, well, you're judging him because he vapes. No, it's not that. It's that we are not compatible, because if we try to force something to work like a year-long friendship, we're just going to be bitter enemies in the end, and so it's better that we never began at all. And then the same guy, he says that I have a rule in the Discord that if you're left-leaning or a liberal, that you should just never bother. Well, guess what? People still bothered, and they hit chattering. There was one guy, he didn't let anyone know. He kept it a complete freaking secret that he was hardcore leftist, and he joined the server, I guess, to spy or to be an enemy or something. But it turned out, we were all really cool with each other and stuff. And he eventually got chat rank. And then at one point, when he moved on from Albion, he felt that the friendship was no longer worth anything. He's like, hey man, I'm actually like a hardcore leftist, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So anyway, and you know, he remained for a very long time. And did it end badly? No. Did it end good? Well, in my case, because he moved on, you know, what was the point to begin? That's my thing, right? What was the point to even start if it's not going to be a forever thing, all right? But, you know, if someone on the left can join the Discord, pass the questionnaire, and reach chat rank, then literally anyone can that's mostly compatible, right? And for me, it's like, I'm trying to help you out with the rules and the questionnaire on that server. I'm trying to help you out so that you don't waste your time, and so that you don't get upsetty spaghetti over something that would potentially happen in the future. Then you have people that suspect that, like, everyone that agrees with me on Reddit is my alt account. No, I don't have Reddit alt accounts. I have not made a Reddit account, like, forever. 5+ years, I think? It's been a very long time, right? And the reason why is that I'm on a static IP address, and so I can't make new accounts. But also, if you were to, like, here's the thing. If you make a new account and you try to post to the Albion Online subreddit, you can't until you build up your karma. And the only way to build up karma is to mass reply and ask questions on r/ask Reddit. That's like the only way to do it. Or buy accounts. I'm not buying an account to shitpost on the Albion forums only to get banned in a moment's notice, right? It's literally a pointless waste of time task. I have way more important things to worry about, like feeding myself and paying bills. I can't be wasting time on Reddit, okay? Next up, we have someone that says I make misleading videos because I show tier 8 gathering with 100 proficiency. No, I don't. I've shown my Destiny board before. And what we're talking about is tier 4, right? So here's my tier 4. We have 45 fishing, 50 fiber gathering, which is 1 million per hour. I've proven this recently in multiple videos. We have 45 into ore miner. I think this can go over 1 million an hour, even around Bridgewatch, though Bridgewatch is not really good for mining metal. I still think I can hit those numbers. I'll make a video on that. But yes, my skinning is 85. I have never used learning points on this. If you actually use learning points, you can level this super freaking duper quickly. It does not take a lot of time. Like, if I were to level this right now, oh no, 30-something learning points to hit the next level, right? It's not hard to max these out. Like, I've seen new players max these out, like, really, really easily, right? Wood chopping, level 81, and I did this for ages, right? We have 55 adept courier, that's 1 million per hour. You know, skinning is 1 million per hour. It's 1.7 million per hour with luck and with premium. So, again, these people are just crazy. And yes, I do understand that a brand new player cannot get to tier 8, you know, equipment. Like, I'm wearing tier 8, like a lumberjack set and a tier 8 Avalonian axe. But you can afford it when you get there. This whole set, like, these are the core items. This costs 2.5 million silver. That's it. That's all it costs. The Avalonian tool, once you buy it, you're never going to lose it, 1.6 million. The, you know, tier 8 Skinner garb, oh no, 458k. New players, after playing for a few days or even a week, can buy this. Now, they can't use tier 8 equipment until they have unlocked tier 8. And that will, if they play every day and they gather every day, it'll take them about a month of casually playing the game. Their first month, boom, they get the tier 8 set, and now they can print money. They can print money. Also, this guy says 1 million an hour in yellow zones. I have told everyone endlessly that yellow zone gathering is terrible. You should avoid the yellow zone. You should gather in tier 4 blue zones. That is where the money is at for safe zone gathering. It is way more silver per hour than yellow zone. All right? It just is. And this same guy says, in a week's worth of time, if you were to play a week and you gathered in the Avalonian roads, that you would make 3 times the amount that you would make in the blue zone. Well, I've tried that. I've tried that multiple times. I have tried that at least 30 to 40 times, and I cannot get that result. I cannot consistently get good results in Ava roads, in mists, or even black zones. I have tried. I've even joined a top 10 guild where the entire zone was protected by, like, the castles, the hideouts, an entire guild on Discord, rotating the entire zone, ganking everyone that didn't belong there. And I never made close to what I could in blue zones. And it's way more risk, it's way more of a hassle. So every time that I see someone say this, it's like, how are they doing this? And there are a few people that have put out videos, but when I look at those videos, it's very clear and abundant that they are radar hacking. Because when they suddenly change directions and beeline it towards an enchanted node or a hidden treasure, it's very, very obvious, and they're all doing it with premium, whereas I'm doing it without premium, and the money isn't even that much better for the risk. And again, the majority, 92% of the player base does not have, a tier 8 black zone hideout with a guild backing them up. They are not the guild's go-to. Oh, geez, I meant to punch that. I didn't mean to slash it. Dang, these marmots are getting beat up. The majority of players won't ever have access to that kind of stuff. And so it's irrelevant even if you could, ink out a bit more per hour than you could. I have even tried, if you go onto the test server with 100 proficiency, as this guy complains, which I clearly don't have 100 proficiency in any gathering at all, not even close, right? And you may think, well, 85 is close. No, it's not. The time it takes to go from 85 to 100 is the time it takes to go from 1 to 75 or something. It's really ridiculous, okay? That may not be an exact estimate. I don't care about, doing that kind of math right now, but it's pretty darn close. It's close enough, okay? But what I'm trying to get at is that if you go to the test server where there's no one there, no one to gank you, there's no danger, the entire zone is left. It's fully upgraded mobs, fully juiced up. So if you went skinning, every mob that you kill, and there's going to be a bunch of them because there's no one there killing them, will have full stacks of resources. And if you did 1 hour of gathering in a tier 8 black zone, you will make 4 to 6 million an hour on the test server with no contest, no one to stop you, no one to, also share resources with. It's only 4 to 6 million an hour, and that depends if the nodes are enchanted or not. That's it. That's all it is. Now, of course, yes, there's the one-off that you kill a mammoth and it drops a baby, and now you're 130 million up in silver or whatever the price of a baby mammoth is. I don't know how much a cub is worth, but that's a very one-off. That's not something you can do consistently. That is called a jackpot. That is called a jackpot. And the blue zone has jackpots when you have baby drops. There are times when I get tomes and babies, and I make an extra million that hour. I have made 2.7 million an hour one time, but that was insanely lucky. I got all the 4.3 nodes and I rotated them on timer, and I got tons of baby drops and tome drops all within the hour. It happens, but it almost never happens. It is not consistently something that happens. But what is consistent is 1 million silver per hour, as long as you're using journals, you're using tier 8 gathering tools, which again, play the game for a month, okay? Just play the game for a month. Another complaint is that I'm using 8.4 gear to skin. Yes, I kill things a fraction faster than you might if you don't, but even with a 4.1 weapon, you cast some of those spells, you're going to kill everything pretty much effortlessly. There's no hassle. There's no getting bonked around by rhinos. There's no getting howled by wolves, bled out by cougars. You literally just cast your spell rotation, all the mobs die. Whereas with 8.4 gear, I just left click them once, they run at me, the poison finishes them off, I skin them right at my feet, and I move on. So all the 8.4 gear does in terms of gathering is it saves me having to push a few extra buttons, which in turn saves me a few extra seconds, which when added up over the course of hours and days and weeks, saves me a few hours of time. Basically, the cost of the gear isn't going to make up for the time saved anytime soon, but it's just less stress on my hands, and it lets me focus more on watching anime and YouTube than worrying about clicking or pushing button skills in a video game. Next up is the claim that the black zone is a waste of time. That is my opinion that I have found, and I have done massive amounts of data collection, and while if you don't get ganked and there is no one around to mess with you, the black zone currently, in the current state of the game, not in the past 5 years, but in the current state of the game, is better than blue and yellow zone fame farming. It just is. That's if you aren't getting ganked, murdered, stalked, harassed, attacked, killed, camped, ambushed, or even, like people hovering around you. All right? And that happens constantly in the black zone. You have a life expectancy of around 8 minutes if you're fame farming in the black zone. Because if you are fame farming in the black zone, you are a target. You are a meal ticket. You are an ounce of dopamine for a group of players. They see you, oh, this guy's fame farming, let's kill him. and then you're dead, and then you lose whatever you've been grabbing. And yeah, you get to keep the silver that the enemies drop, and you get to, keep the fame that the enemies drop. Sure. But when you're in the blue and yellow zone fame farming, you don't have anything to worry about. You just zone out, you push one button, the entire massive camp blows up and dies, and while you're making less fame per hour doing it, it's infinitely less effort. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Do you want to work 100 hours a week at your job and make an extra $1,000? Or would you rather work 16 hours a week and have the rest of the week off to do the things that you want to do with a stress-free job, but you make $1,000 less a week? This means that you would be essentially making $52,000 less a year. All right, but you have way more free time. One guy's working 80-hour weeks, the other one's working 16 hours a week. One is living his best life and having fun and not having any stress. The other guy is having an early heart attack. He's dying. He's having health issues. Like, I just learned today that one of my old coworkers from a job that I worked, and this dude was an absolute gangster. This is the toughest guy that I've ever worked with. Like, he is a unit. This dude is a freaking beast of a man, right? He died to a heart attack. And why did he die? Because he's working 100 hours a week. The stress is piling up. He couldn't handle it anymore, and I guess his body gave out. I don't know. But it sucks that it happened, and I just learned about it today, and I'm like, dang, how did that guy die, right? But I know what killed him. The job killed him, because I was there. I worked in this when I started, he was working there, and back then he was chill, because he just had a chill job, little part-time little job, and he made jokes, and he was full of soul. But when he climbed the corporate ladder and got to the position he was at, that soul was gone. He was just a machine. He was unhappy. He was binge eating. He was doing all the unhealthy things. He never had any free time to go to the gym or live life. The dude worked himself to death. All right, he worked himself to death. And so when I think of Black Zone fame farming, yeah, you're making more fame. You are now after the nerfs. Okay, before then, you could just chill in a static, watching anime and having no risk and blowing up massive amounts of mobs and making double the amount of fame that people made in the Black Zone, again, with zero risk. And that's not how the game should be. I even said that when I made those static videos. I was like, this is unfair. This is unbalanced. They will nerf this one day, and they did. They did nerf it, okay? But my point is that while I'm totally, absolutely, completely fine taking a little bit less fame per hour in the blue and yellow zones for none of the stress and none of the extra work. But if you really want to crank those numbers and give it your all and really min-max your time, yes, you go to the Black Zone and you hope that you're not chased for 10 minutes by gankers forced to take, save zone portals and do a bunch of, evasion tactics. Because if you do, the second that people are chasing you around a Black Zone, the second that you are a target, your time is now inefficient compared to the blue and yellow zone. And all it takes is one guy who's bored and wants to kill you to ruin your fame per hour. One guy. And so, in my opinion and analysis, that is why I simply don't like the Black Zone. Yes, if you are in a powerful guild and you have a Discord full of guildies controlling and patrolling the area and ganking it, then you could somewhat safely fame farm. I was in a top 10 guild and we owned some of the best territories, and we still had roaming gankers that came and murdered us all the time. It happened constantly, and that was part of the fun. You're out fame farming in your little Black Zone hideout area, whatever. You get murdered by some literal who. You rally the boys. You get on Discord. Hey, we got some troublemakers. Everyone freaking gears up. They haul ass out of the hideout, and you run them down. You kill them, and then you're not done. You go to their Black Zone. You go to their territory, and then you kill everyone there that was fame farming. And then you return home. You high five. You share the loot. You have a laugh. Okay. And that's the guild versus guild, the Black Zone versus Black Zone stuff. As a solo player, as a person with no friends and no guild and no protection, you are just a casualty. Oh no, one guild is coming into the zone to murder everyone. Oops. You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now you're dead, and your loot belongs to someone because they had 20 friends and you didn't have any. That sucks. That does not feel good. That is not a good use of your time. But no, they'll say this take is not an educated take. They'll say that this is a brain-dead take. No, it isn't. It's not brain dead. It's real. It's truthful. Deal with it. Another thing, too, that I just love to I want to fully debunk this one day, and it's use 4.1 gear in the black zone, and you can fame farm more than in the yellow zone. And like I said, there are times if you go into a very high yield, high quality black zone and you don't get ganked, yes, very specific 4.1 sets can outfarm an 8.4 set in the yellow zone. That is true. That is absolutely true. But most of the time it isn't, okay? Most of the time it's not. But what these people fail to realize is that if you take that 8.4 set and you're doing big pulls and you're killing like entire camps and you have everything planned and mapped out, you actually beat the black zone in that regard. What the hell is on the floor here? Is that a what is that a skull? That's a skull at the bottom of the stairs. Okay. But yeah, here I am. I am in a smuggler's den. I have a whole bunch of 4.1 and flat 4 and even 5.1 sets, whatever, and some gathering gear and stuff. And when I go out to River Copse Fount, that's where I live, this is a quality 5 tier 8 black zone. Yes, I can run around this and kill mobs and get a whole bunch of fame and also get killed. That's just how it is. So this is off topic, but why is the smuggler's den vendor guy? Why is he so much taller and bigger than all the other humans in the game? This dude is unproportionally massive. Like when you go to the market in like, you know, a town and there's the auctioneer lady, she's a normal size. She's the same size as the player. But this guy, like, is he 10 feet tall? What is the deal? Like the length of his legs is the length of my entire character's body. I don't get it. And like all the other NPCs are normal sized, right? Like these dudes are normal sized. The bartender is normal sized, except those big budgets there. But you see, like everyone's normal sized, and you maybe think, oh, it's like it's a perspective thing. He's higher up on the stage. That's not a stage. The stage, when compared to our character, is chest high. So he is not like elevated in the sky or anything. Okay, maybe he's forehead. It's forehead high, right? So let's say our character is 6'4". So like, if I was on the stage, I wouldn't be much bigger. Like, I don't know. He's just unproportionately large. The next claim is that blue and yellow zones give nothing. No, they give quite a bit. I have proven time and time again you can get over 1 million per hour in blue zones, like for gathering. And then fame in, you know, blue and yellow zones, it's decent when you're AoE farming. It's pretty good. I've shown the numbers. It's millions per hour. Then you have these purists that believe the blue and yellow zone is only for learning the game. It's only for new players. And anyone who isn't a new player should leave and go to the real game. And here's the thing, right? If that was the case, the devs would have kept a IP cap in the blue and yellow zones. Back in the day, the blue and yellow zones had IP caps. So if you wore 8.3 gear, and back in the day, that was the best gear. There was no 8.4, there was no Awakened. If you wore 8.3 gear in a yellow zone, you were as strong as a guy in 4.1. That's it. You were of equal power. So there was no point in wearing it at all, because all you were doing is giving yourself a bigger repair bill for the exact same kill speed. So you were forced to go to the black zone. You were forced to go there to fame farm. And this is, you know, way back in the day when open world mobs barely gave anything, and the only real way to fame farm was to do dungeons, solo dungeons, and they did not close. So you would be like down on the 3rd floor, you know, about to kill a boss, and 2 dudes show up behind you and murder you and take your stuff. And I was fine with that, because that means that I could also do that to other people. And it was fun, because you would have to have like a dungeon clearing set. They could also run away or fight back. And so it wasn't so much about clearing the dungeon as fast as possible like it is now. It was about having a balance that would allow you to survive and or fight back or run away. And that made the game very dynamic and fun to play. But now we just have, you know, the game caters to whales. So wherever the money flows, that's what's going to be buffed, nerfed, and fixated on. And then another thing too is that people don't understand the viewpoint, because either they were born in high society, they're upper middle class in real life, and they just don't fathom this. It's not gear fear. It's not, oh, I don't want to lose money. It's the fact, like if I go out into the black zone and die with a fame farm set, you know, it's worth like 100k, not even, I don't even go that Gucci. And yes, I use the word Gucci for 100k, so what? What are you going to do about it? The thing is, it's not about me losing the 100k silver when I die. It's about giving someone else a fraction of that 100k simply because they outnumbered me or played some stupid meta build. That does not feel good. And yes, in a video game, there are winners and there are losers. And at the end of the day, like if I'm playing Dead by Daylight and the killer kills me, I don't really feel all that bad because I lost. Like, who cares? Yes, I didn't earn as many points at the end of the round, but I didn't give someone more points than I originally had. It's points generated out of thin air. It's not taking from me and giving to someone else because they ran a counter build or they were simply outnumbering me. And that's the majority. Like, if I have a really fair and good fight and lose, I don't really feel bad about losing. But if I'm out doing a thing and 20 guys jump me and murder me and take my stuff, well, they won because they sucked each other's toes in a Discord server, and that doesn't feel good, right? That doesn't feel good at all. And 92% of the player base agrees that that does not feel good, so 92% of the player base simply does not partake in playing that part of the game. And no, it's not the main game, it's not the reason the game exists. I always hear the phrase, Albion is not a PvE game. If you want a PvE, there are better games for it. Well, you know what? What is a better PvE game? What is a better PvE game? Tell me. What, RuneScape? You mean that game that came out in 2004? Okay, I played RuneScape. I chopped the trees, I sold the cowhides, I did my thing on that game. I'm playing a newer game, Albion, even though it's not really new anymore. It's, you know, what, 7, 8 years old now? But the point is, name a better PvE game. Oh, what, World of Warcraft? Let me tell you about PvE in World of Warcraft. Okay. Let's talk about WoW Classic. The level cap is 60. You start at a level 1. You kill mobs and you do quests. Okay, you're level 60. Now you need better gear. So you do dungeons with other people. You kill monsters. You kill small bosses. Now you need better gear. So you kill raid bosses once a week. Once a week you can go slay a dragon for a chance at a piece of loot. Cool. You do that for 6 months to a year. Okay, you have all the raid loot. Now what? Now what do you do? Okay, so you farm materials so you can craft better potions and reagents to cast special abilities. Like if you need feathers, you go kill bird animals, and then you can cast Slowfall or whatever, or Levitate if you're a priest, right? Cool. So what do you do once you have all the money, you have all the gear, and you have all the reagents and materials that you could ever want or need or use for months at a time? You have like months stockpiled. Well, there is no more PvE in World of Warcraft. There is no more PvE at all to ever do. You literally just... Look at this dude's name. Look at this dude's name. That's... How is... Oh, that's too fun. Like, do you have a stats page? No stats, bro. What? Anyway, I got distracted there. Yeah, I know. But essentially, all that there's left to do in World of Warcraft at that point is sit around and murder the enemy faction. That's it. And you know what people think Albion is? That you sit around the Black Zone all day in a Discord with 20 of your friends, and you murder everything that moves. And then they get bored, and then they quit. Whereas, there's still plenty of things to do in PvE in this game. Way more things to do than in World of Warcraft, for one. But also, there's a reason to repeat the things that you do, even if you are fully rich and fully... Like, if you have a maxed out Destiny board, and you have trillions of silver... You would still go kill enemies and monsters and stuff. You would still go skin the mammoth. You would still go, you know, raise the animals and do the farm work and craft the things. Because that's just, I don't know, that's just how the game works, right? Or maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm not you. And I have always said in my videos, like, not every single video is catered to the brand newest of newbies first day playing. Of course not. But some people, they'll watch a video that's intended for someone that's been playing a month or 2 months or 3 months. And they're like, well, newbies can't do this. Like, here's the main argument I get a lot is that a new player cannot get to 8.3 gear. I've done it on a new server, on a new account, on a new character in 1.5 days. I've done it on when the Asia server launched. When Europe launched, I did it on both servers. I got to 8.3 gear in 1.5 days. And yes, I know what I'm doing, and I did it completely safe, in safe zones, never going to the full loot PvP zones. And there are people that say, well, if you did go to the full loot PvP... No! I would be dead. I would be down bad. I would have lost so much money and time trying to fame farm. It is I wouldn't have. I would maybe be able to do it in 3 to 4 days, but it would be a struggle. It would be a stressful struggle. It would be a real chore. But you'd have more fun. No, I would not have more fun doing it, and everything about it would just be worse than doing it in the safe zones. And yes, I know that new players who don't know what they're doing will not be able to get to 8.3. I remember playing as a new player. I remember what it was like. My first 8.3 was a great axe, because that's what the Reddit guide said. And it turns out everyone making those guides and making those, recommendations, they were all great axe crafters running a little great axe harem. Oops, fell for it, didn't I? Right? But the point is that within my first month of playing, my first month of casually playing, because I was playing other games, playing World of Warcraft, I wasn't spending a lot of time in this game. I was absolutely very easily able, and this guy, you can see this guy following me around. I was very easily able to buy and afford and purchase an 8.3 Great Axe. And at the time, too, I wasn't even a save zone player. There was an IP cap. I just bought it to have it. I was like, oh, it's the best weapon in the game. And I wanted it because I wanted to collect the best weapon in the game at the time, right? And so, yeah, I still went out on, red and black zones trying to do stuff. And it didn't work out so well. And I eventually started actually spreadsheeting the numbers and doing the homework and doing the math and doing the testing. And that's where we're at today. I was the only one to actually do the work, do the homework, do the testing, do the math, do the spreadsheets, and show and prove to the world, that the way of playing that everyone totes, oh, good old Black Zone, is not the most optimal way to do things at the time, of course. And I got a lot of backlash and a lot of hate for it because people started to see how fast I was growing. Back then I didn't, barely any subscribers or viewers, right? But my information is what made me grow. It was not, anything else. It was just I was putting out the correct and good info that people saw. We put the actual work in for it, and there you are, and here we are today. So when a Redditor says, why would anyone like him? He is objectively wrong about everything. No, I'm not. And then he calls me a piece of shit. He's like, oh, Swobity's a piece of shit. How am I? I am the nicest guy. I am the fairest guy. I am very open-minded. I am nice to, watch a live stream. I'm very rarely mean to anyone unless they're an absolute degenerate hater, spammer, or we're, highly incompatible, right? I have been very openly nice to even my haters. After a while, there's, a cooldown period, right? Like some creator, makes a big stink about me and makes a big fuss. And then after a few months, I just forget about it, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And they're like, so busy, bad. Right? That's just how it is. I am a nice guy, and in real life especially, right? I'm the smiles, happy, friendly guy. Now, of course, on the internet, I want to roleplay as Le Mischievous Troll Face Man, but video games are just kind of going in a different direction. There's really not a lot of trolling you can do anymore, and troll channels have really fallen off on the platform and stuff. So I'm just a guide channel, really. And yeah, occasionally I'll do a little troll video. I'll boot up Marvel Rivals and yap in voice chat how I'm not going to heal anyone or something, and it's like, does that make me an awful, evil, mean, bad person that would drown your babies and, do a bunch of horrible, awful things? No, not at all, dude. It's a video game. It's ones and zeros, all right? There are people that watch my video when I punch a marbit and kill it. Boom, right? They think that I'm an evil person because I punched a small animal in the video game, right? It's a video game. They're there to click on to alleviate your boredom. Another one says that I am wrong about how to build your economy. That 10 hours of grinding in a blue and yellow zone equates to 1 hour of progress in a red or black zone. And that I would love if someone could prove me wrong on that, because do they know something I don't? I would love to see someone make 10 times the amount that I do in a red or black zone. That would be insane. That would be game-changing. SBI would be hitting that nerf hammer so damn hard, guys. It's just a boisterous random claim to try to discredit me that you could probably tell some new guy that doesn't know the game at all, and he might just believe you at face value. But every single person who's actually played the game and experimented knows that is not the case. Someone says that I sound solid to new players, except I've always shown my work, I've shown proof, I've shown the numbers, the before and after, and I've even done it uncut, hundreds of videos, uncut videos, unedited videos, where I just do the grind and show you the results consistently all the time. And if I get lucky, like there's some gathering videos where I do get lucky, I tell people. Like there was one time I was doing group dungeons. I'm like, here's what you can expect to make in group dungeons. And I hit a fat jackpot. I hit like a big legendary chest with millions of silver. And I'm like, this never happens. This is the first time that this has happened in, 2 years. Okay, this is a one and done thing. This is not something you can expect to do. And I let the audience truthfully know this is not how much you would actually make. And then, because that jackpot technically ruined the recording, I finished it up, and then I did 3 more tests just to prove that you will not, on average, make that amount. But you know what other content creators do? They spend a month making one video where they pop a bunch of, big, whales in the mists and kill them and take their millions of silver. Or they do one lucky loot run where they're gathering in the roads and they have it completely to themselves because they paid Chinese scouts to scout it beforehand. They have their entire guild at every exit guarding the thing, and they have radar hacks running in the background that you can't see, showing every single rare node. They have the whole thing mapped out before they even actually run it, and then they run it and they're like, hey, look, I made 2 million silver on this run per hour. Wow, golly gee, I did it. And it's like, yeah, it's very, like to me who plays the game and knows, who knows the game, it's very obvious, but to a new player, they'll see them like, wow, I can do that. And then they will go die endlessly, lose all their loot, and then be back at square one because they didn't have an emergency set of gathering gear or fame farming that they have, stashed away for safe zones. And then they simply quit the game. Who's more damaging to this game, me or those people? And then another thing that I absolutely love is the claim that if you aren't constantly playing in the black zone, you're not constantly getting good at PvP, and you will be behind everyone else, and you will suck at the game, and at the end of the day, when you finally get around to PvPing because you spent too much time on your econ, that you will forever be behind and suck. And that is such a stupid claim. I just want to share something real quick. The Swole Benji character is a crafting character. It does do transports through red and black zones, and it does die quite often when transporting lots of fat loot. I have a higher fame kill to fame lost ratio than not all, but most of the PvP centered content creators, the PvP only streamers, the PvP Twitch guys, the PvP Mist Bros in the top 10, right? Because they just have infinite money to card swipe and throw out the game, and they don't give a damn if they die or not. Like, there was one guy that is clearly a botted channel, but essentially, he would run around in full 8-4 Awakened gear, just dumpstering people in the mists. And, yeah, the footage is entertaining, and some of the claps are good, sure. That dude had such a low kill-to-death fame ratio that it's like, he is just donating money to people. He is a financial cuck. That's exactly what he was. And it's like... Like the PvPers that make fun of me, this is a gathering transport economy character. This is not a PvP character, but I still have a better KDA, a better, kill to death fame ratio than those guys who are playing 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's sickening, it's ridiculous, and it's funny that they talk crap, but when you look at the stats, when you look at the numbers, how am I still doing better? How am I still doing better? Because this game is a simple game. I come from a background, a pedigree of actual real games with real PvP, where you have like 30 to 40 spells at your disposal that you have to constantly think about and do. Whereas the current generation, League of Legends, you have your 7 buttons, right? And Albion Online, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have like 8 buttons. One of them is a food button. You barely hit that one. But you have 7 buttons that you would hit in a PvP situation for the most part. That is not a lot of thinking. You have to think about your opponent's 7 buttons and your 7 buttons and then your positioning. That's not skill. That's not MLG super cool esport. Oh my god, I'm on the center stage, in South Korea at the World Finals stuff. That is 10 views on a YouTube channel or 100 viewers on a Twitch stream. World Championship final. Like, go look at these World Cup. Go look at, like, all the season finale, like, 5v5 Crystal Arena stuff. No one cares. No one watches. No one's interested. They don't care about it. That's not why they play this game. It's a very tiny little minority, all right? It's a very tiny one. All right, and we have another guy hating about the questionnaire. He says, how I ask about internet memes or 4chan-related memes. which means a lot for me, and it does. Here's the thing. I grew up on 4chan, and it's the only place on the internet that I know of that has the most leniency when it comes to freedom of speech, which is something I highly value and respect, and I know it is something that the left does not respect or value, especially Robin Hinkes does not like freedom of speech, especially, you know, with all of his hate towards Elon Musk and stuff. But the point is that if you are not in that similar camp, we're not really compatible for the most part. It's mostly a filter to see if you are a respecter of freedom of speech, if you are a respecter of websites that actually, you know, you can, for the most part, before the 4chan got leaked and the Janie stuff, you know, got, you know, released. But essentially, where else can you go on the internet to speak your mind without someone in power shutting you down? And yes, they still do it on 4chan, but it's like the least place it happens. I know that's weird to say, but like anywhere else, if you say certain things, you're gone instantly. Just boom, just an algorithm does it, right? Whereas on 4chan, it's manually done sometimes, and that's only if the Janie is having a bad day. All right, so another thing that people are hating on is that instead of doing giveaways, I ask for silver, okay? So for a few things here, let's get something straight. I am not an official creator, so I cannot do giveaways because I don't have anything to give away. Yes, I can just give you my raw, like, oh yeah, I can go gather and make 1 million silver an hour and then give that away. I could, absolutely I could. But why? Why would I? Now here's the thing too, I'm gonna get to it, but essentially, I'm not an upper middle class in real life guy. Those people are essentially card swiping gold, transferring it to silver, and then buying viewership. That is what they are doing. When you see a brand new Albion YouTuber who is upper middle class, he is doing constant giveaways to try to bring an audience in. I like a complete and total organic and self-sustained audience, so I do not do giveaways. Now, if I was partnered with SBI and had giveaway codes, I would not do them secretly in a Discord like everyone is doing, right? I would do it openly to people who, you know, watch the stream or the videos or whatever. And yeah, but I don't have that to give away. But also, another thing too is, look, here's the thing, right? When I would do a live stream, I would raise 600 to 800 million silver in about 8 hours. That is a lot of silver, which is surprising to me. I didn't expect people to be so generous with their silver, but here we are. But here's the thing too. I only did like 2 or 3 of those streams ever, and the reason I did them is because the videos that I needed to make was going to cost anywhere from 100 million to 800 million silver to make. And those are all educational guide videos that I was not willing. Here's the thing, right? Either I can live stream and collect some silver from, you know, like from the fan base, or I can sit here and go gather and redeem, referral rewards for weeks to months on end to make a single video. And I just wasn't going to do that, okay? Just wasn't going to do it. But, yeah, so that is why that I'm not a giveaway guy. Although I want to be, I don't have the position in life to card swipe to do giveaways. And I don't have SBI's blessing to get free stuff to give to you anyway, which is really dumb because, like they can see numbers. They can see that I'm the most referred person ever in their game. And so why don't they give me stuff to give to the audience? I think my audience would appreciate it, and they might actually like SBI more than they do. And if they were giving me stuff to give away, then maybe I'd be a little nicer about things. The next complaint is repetitive content. Well, hey, that's not my fault. That's the game's fault. If it updated and added new stuff, there would be less repetition. But how many gathering videos can I make? As many as needed. Every time there's a new update, every time the economy shifts, it's time to shit out a gathering video for all the gathering types, just to show current players, here's what you could expect to make, here's what I made, here's how it's looking, you know, and the gameplay is, you know, there's little micro adjustments right now. For people that don't know, there's an AI controlling a lot of the base economy, so things are being altered, like silver drops from mobs and stuff. And, you know, I have whole spreadsheets where, oh, if you kill a tier 8 mob in a quality 5 zone, it's supposed to drop this amount of silver. All that number is went out the window. It's much lower than it used to be. Why are they taking money away from the players? I don't know, but maybe they have a good reason, or maybe they're just trying to kill the game to kill the Stillfront stock, and then they can go make a new game or retire. I don't know what they're doing. It's wild to me. Next up, they say, I am a drama queen. Here's the thing. I don't start the drama. I finish it. I wait for people to start drama with me. I have never openly started drama with someone else first. There's never been a reason. I literally kept to myself in my own little bubble until everyone started attacking me because they realized that I was growing at an extreme rapid rate. Like, take Lupac, for example. Back in the day, he was like the biggest YouTuber for the game. I outgrew him in less than a year from nothing, and he had been building that stuff up for like 4 to 5 years. And of course he's going to be mad about it. So yeah, he starts some drama, whatever. Later he gets the, gig actually being an SBI employee. So he's basically untouchable, right? It is what it is. I don't really care. But I think it's just funny. It's just funny. And then we have haters that say that I discourage joining a guild. Well, gee, I wonder why. Almost every guild taxes you. Every guild treats you as a cog in the machine. Look, if you want to pay taxes and you want to be treated as a coworker so that you can further your virtual greed, that's for you to figure out. I'm not going to figure it out for you. I don't enjoy that kind of gameplay. I don't enjoy social interactions that are transactions. I really hate that. When I talk to people, I want to talk to people as friends and as, shared interests. I don't want to talk to them as a coworker or a wagey or a cog in the machine or I'm the boss man or they're the boss man. I hate that. Real life is full of that crap. I want to escape it in video games. And so the majority of people that join clans and guilds in games, especially MMOs, all they care about is did they win? Did they get paid? And is their gear better than when they started? And do they have the protection a guild has? And they're willing to sacrifice their freedoms, their money, their free time. Like, that's the biggest sink to me in Albion, is that, like, a CTA, just to get ready for a CTA, 45 minutes. 45 minutes is a lot of time for someone with not a lot of time left. And sitting around for 45 minutes while everyone groups up and gets all the right gear on and mobilizes so they can go left-click a castle wall with a hammer for 5 minutes and then loot a chest that you're never going to see the loot. You're never going to see that loot. The inner circle gets to see that loot, and you might get a little pity amount, that the taxes aren't going to make up for. Why would I enjoy that? Why would I encourage that? Why would I advertise that on my videos? That is not for me. I don't think that's for anyone. I think that it takes a very special type of person to want to be a corporate wage slave in a video game, and I'm not going to encourage that at all. Sorry. I like the statement that the people that actually hate me, especially on Reddit, don't even watch my videos, and that is so damn true, dude. There are people that still think that I say swole Benji here, and people that think that I say, like, be a bro and stay swole, or return your shopping carts. Those were retired, like 3 to 4 years ago, man. Then we have a guy that says, my information is only 1/4 correct. What does that even mean? Like, 1 out of 4, I get 1 out of 4 things right? Wrong. Nope. Like, prove me, like, I always ask these people, show me a video where it's just objectively wrong. And you'll have, like, one guy as a troll, he'll be like, oh, he'll pull up, like, a static fame farm video, and I'm like, well, at the time it was right, before the nerfs, and I even made a video showing and telling everyone it got nerfed, disregard, but whatever, right? And they say my math is horrible. There has been a few times I have slipped up minorly in the math, minorly amount, but the main gripe that the thing is, the community at large, they want to force the community to think or act a certain way. Let me give you an example. Back in the day, someone that roams around in full 8.3 gear, which was the best gear in the game, now it's 8.4 gear with Awakened, there was not a term to describe this person. And so I came up with the term Chad. You're a yellow zone Chad if you're running around in full 8.3 gear dunking on people, right? And people hated that because they thought of the incel thing like Chads and Stacys and blah, 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 right? And they didn't like that. They didn't like that an American-ish meme labeled people wearing the best possible gear in the yellow zone, which is what you should do because there's no risk, so why wouldn't you? They hated that they were labeled Chad. So they wanted something more traditional. They wanted something more medieval, more fantasy-like, and so they opted all to get together and start calling it Kings. Like, instead of Chads in the yellow zone, it was Kings in the yellow zone. Oh, we got Kings running around in 8.4 gear. That sounds, to me, it sounds stupid, but at that point, it was too late. Everyone just knew that the terminology is Chad, right? And yes, I was the purveyor or the father of said terminology. And the next thing that I did is that the way I calculate fame earnings, Everyone except me does it this way. They open the stats page and they look at the fame earned before and after. And that's it. That's all they do. And that is stupid because it does not factor into account premium. It does not factor into account satchel. It also does not factor into account all the other bonuses that you can get, like holiday bonuses. Right now, the Easter event is still going on, so that's 15%. You can get 10% if you're, do an Avalonian raid. You get another 10% from the Conqueror's Conquest if you get the vow leveled up enough or whatever. There's a whole bunch of things that it does not calculate on that stats page. And for me, I think that that is an inferior way of calculating it. And so, because I find it inferior, I have always pushed the way as follows. Especially since most players, by the time they are 3 to 4 days in, or even 2 weeks in if they're hyper casual, they will have a set of gear that is maximum mastery and maximum spec. And once you've achieved that, all of your earnings get converted into... Hold on, I got text in the way. All of your... Right up here at the top. All of your earnings get converted into combat fame credits. Now, these can be converted into fame. And at the lowest conversion rate, it is 1 combat fame credit to 2 fame. So when I do my fame per hour calculations, that is how I do it. Alright? And so, like for instance, to level up spears from like 22 to 100, it is 16,046,879. So 16 million combat fame credits, or 32 million fame. So what this means is that if I wanted to level up these spears to 100, I need to have a way or a system to figure out how much time will that take to achieve. How much time will that take to achieve? And so, when I did Blue Zone Statics and I got the number 20 million fame per hour, then it would take around an hour and 40 minutes to achieve. Okay? And that's why I calculated it the way that I did, and that's why people to this day use that calculation and not stats page, right? Because who gives a shit about the stats page? The stats page is not something that you would ever use for results. All other MMORPGs, gacha games, online fighting games all use a similar way of judging experience per hour and earnings per hour. They do not use a stats page that does not calculate all of the other bonuses. The same guy says, I am extremely hateful, and he's using special words I'm not going to say on YouTube. And it's like, no, I'm not. I love debunking this, okay? This is something I believe Nazori's camp spread, that I am an incel. That I am a forever alone incel, and I don't have a girlfriend. And like, and I like to tell people, I have a girlfriend. Like, why is that surprising? And they're like, no, you don't. There's no way you have a girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And, hold on. But the point I'm getting at is that they make up this boogeyman that I'm not at all. Even though I think it's funny. I think it's funny that they make up these horror stories about me. And they say all these nasty things. Like, there was a guy saying I have a criminal record. It's like, no, I have a clean record. I've never even received a ticket. I am a good boy in the real world, right? And again, they're making up all these things that they can. Some of them are actually quite serious accusations, but again, dude, I'm just a dude that worked at a freaking retail store, and then I play video games. That's the extent of it, right? Yeah, it would be interesting if I was some uber elite gang lord guy that's super edgy, covered in tats and a real, mean dude, but I'm not. I'm just a gamer like you. And then there's claims, oh, he hopped into my Discord and did this and that. And like, no, I didn't. That's an imposter. That's not me. That's a waste of time. That does not make me money or help me survive. And why would I do that? Right? Like, here's the thing, right? I'm not an aggressor. I don't randomly do mean things to like guilds and people, right? Like even guilds that have screwed me over in this game. I just move on. It's like, whatever, their loss. If they don't want me on their team, like, I would be the best guildie to have because I can play this game 19 hours a day. I'm a billionaire. I'm actually good at the game. I'm always topping the kill boards whenever I was in guilds. But like, if I use the guild finder or look at the top 10 guilds or whatever, I guess there's not a season right now, whatever. But oh, here we go. Like the people in Kool-Aid, I know they hate me. I know they don't like me. They were talking crap to me, like, even before I was in guilds, right? iFuries is Spanish, so I can't even talk to them. Why are they number 2? Are they taking a back seat? What's going on there? Like, this name, Make Albion Great Again. I would love to join them just on name alone, but they don't like me. Why would they like me, right? Oh, so a bitch YouTuber. Blah, blah. Like, people just, by default, do not like YouTubers. And you see this with, like, Asmongold, right? Oh, Asmongold, blah, 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 right? Anyone big, anyone famous, anyone popular. And yes, I could totally change my name, maybe change my voice a little bit, and I could join these guilds, integrate with them, and have a grand old time, absolutely. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm not going to change my name or voice just to fit in with people who don't actually like me for me. It's not something that I would do. And like the thing is, like, people think that I'm out to get these guilds or I'm out to get content creators. Like, you guys are ants. You guys are like insects to me. I am so big and so high up and so massive that it's not like, what do you as a person, as a grown man with a job and stuff, do you go out into the yard and like magnifying glass, with the sun on ants? Why would you do that? That's a waste of time. Like, I just go buy a bag of poison, dump it over the ant pile, and you're done, right? But or just ignore them, unless they're invading your house and stealing your cheese or whatever. Ants eat sugar? Yeah, they eat sugar. Rats eat the cheese. Meep, I want the cheese. But the thing is that, like, it's a waste of my time to just bother with any of that crap. So why would I do it? But no, people love to make a boogeyman. They're like, oh, he did this, he did that. I'm a victim of Swope Bitch. And now that the Reddit thread is done, let's talk about one of the list streamer YouTuber haters that, said a few lines, just a few lines. But essentially, this guy, went on a little rant about me. And I just want to tell you, like, I've had one interaction with the dude ever. So I noticed his name, his streamer name, his YouTube name, whatever. And I noticed that there was a massive conflict of SEO. For those that don't know, SEO is search engine optimization. I want you to, I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm going to explain as clear as I can. Let's say that you named your in-game character Google, and your YouTube channel was called Google. Well, if someone tries to look you up, they will just find the actual Google search engine and not you. So this guy is using a name of a massively popular and questionable phone application. I'll say that much. And there is no chance that he ever overcomes that company, because it's a $1 billion company, and has the SEO where his name appears before theirs. And the thing is, if you even try to search his name, because all he did was add a letter. Like, if your character name was Google and you added an extra E at the end of it, Google will just auto-correct that every time. And you would have to, like, either specifically search for it or, hope that someone clicks, no, I actually meant this spelling and not that spelling. But, so his entire brand, his entire channel, essentially, is not only doomed, but it's also algorithmically limited based on just his name. And I didn't know the guy. I didn't know what kind of content he did. I was just looking at Twitch one day, and I was like, who is this guy? And so I jumped in, and I was like, hey, man, and I tried to talk to him, and I was going to talk to him about the SEO stuff. And no, this wasn't like those people that jump in your chats like, I'm an artist, and would you like me to do your thumb? No, it wasn't anything like that. Okay, it was just a straight up, hey, man, what's up? So as soon as I said that, the dude completely lost his shit. He spurred out. He stopped what he was doing. He foamed at the mouth, and he banned me, of course. He banned me. Just based on, like, I have never spoken to this guy, never played with this guy. We didn't even play on the same server. I had never interacted with this dude in my life. And he flipped out and went berserk and banned me instantly. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he doesn't like my videos or something, whatever, or maybe he's got a friend that doesn't like me. So I still gave him advice. I sent him an email. I was like, hey, man, so your username is this, and the way search engines work and YouTube works and just algorithms work is this, and it's really advisable that, like, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything, but the name you have chosen for your brand is, it can't grow. It can't grow to, like, serious, like, life-changing numbers. And so the sooner that you accept this and, like, fix it, the better. And he never replied, whatever. His loss. But the dude decides to make a video, and he talks about me a little bit in it, so I wanted to address that. So the TLDR is this creator is whinging about the game and how he's quitting, but the real thing is that he just took a brand deal from another game, so he's just swapping over because it pays the bills or whatever. That's the real truth. It's not because he hates the game, and maybe he does, but the dude wasn't really that good at the game anyway when looking at his stats or even his KDA, his fame gain to loss. Like he had a 1.77 fame gain to loss. I have a 1.9 something, and I'm a gathering account, a transport account. Why do I have a better, all he did was focus on PvP stuff, and yet how am I still doing better than him? What? Huh? But he rants about the AFK Twitch drop viewers and crap like that. It's whatever. It's beyond his control. But then he starts ranting about me. Yay. So right away, the dude implies with his very hard to understand dialect that he is baffled that I am still on the same account that when I started playing years ago. So he's baffled that I haven't been, banned. Well, here's the thing. I don't break the in-game rules. I don't cheat, I don't hack, I don't RMT, and I don't do any of that stuff. So why would I be banned? Because I have differing opinions? I come from a country where freedom of speech is to be respected, and even though SBI is not the biggest respecter of freedom of speech, I can't talk in the game. But other than that, I just play the game like anyone else. There would be no reason to ban me for just playing the game just because outside of the game I have opinions that you don't agree with. If that was the case, then you would all... Here's the thing. Here's my thing, right? If I'm allowed to have opinions on things, so are other people, right? And the thing is, if I were to be banned for my opinions, then you would have to ban every single person who has opinions against me, right? Because it would only be fair. If I get banned because I don't like someone because they tried to bully me or harass me, then they have to get banned also. It would be complete. Why is it fair for me to get banned and them not to get banned? So in the end, if you had your way, every creator basically would just eat a ban for not being all smiles and all happy, smiley faces and opinions. What? It's a really childish take. It shows extreme immaturity on this person's part. And then the dude tries to tear me down saying that I'm not that popular. I happen to be the most popular Albion person with the most watch time and views. Now, here's the thing, right? A lot of people like to look at my subscriber count and be like, why aren't your videos getting that many views? And if we look at my channel, I can tell you why. For one, if I make what I would call a shitpost video, where I, like this video here is just a talking video. It's not something people search for. It's not something people can use, utilize, or whatever. It's just me talking to the audience, essentially, right? This video probably won't get a lot of views. Maybe 2,000, maybe 4,000. Maybe it'll hit 10K one day, but not anytime soon, right? And then a lot of games that I have been covering on my channel, I do not publish to subscribers. There is one game I played called Healed to Death. The highest player count that game had was 97, I think, and currently, when I released the last video guide for it, it had a player count of 4. I made a guide video for a game with 4 active players, and he's trying to tear me up because the video didn't get a lot of views. Really, dude? But here's the thing, okay? There are websites like ViewStats and Social Blade. You can check a channel's view counts for the month. That, subscriber count has not mattered since 2017. It is a vanity metric. What matters is how many monthly views a channel gets. And so, this dude hating on me, his channel got a monthly view count, long-form views, of about 52,000 for the month. Alright, so currently, my channel has around 660,000, which is low. He's not wrong that it is lower than normal, because I have barely been posting videos. I've been very lazy. I've been very lackadaisical, whatever the word is. But essentially, I've also been covering dead games that no one plays. I made a video guide for Neighbors Suburban Warfare. There's 1,000 people playing that game, okay? And there's a point to this. I'll get to the point in a bit. But yeah, I'm playing old dead games or doing rehashed content. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not playing AAA games. I'm not making massive super guides that are expected to get a lot of views. But if I did, I would get a lot of views, right? But even then, this guy gets 50,000 monthly views. I get 660,000. And he's trying to crap talk me like he's the bigger man. No. That's not how YouTube works, buddy. And this guy, he thinks he's slick because he started another channel, right? And no, it's not Mogdon. It's not Mogdon, guys. I know he started another channel too. It's not him. Don't worry. But the thing is he's all proud of his like view counts on his new channel, right? So this dude is playing a game called Delta Force. It's free to play Battlefield Slappa, right? It's a garbage game. It's crap. It has a player count of around 82,000 to 100,000 people, depending on the time of day that you're playing, right? And his videos are getting 1,000 views, maybe 1,000 views. When I'm playing a game that I did not publish to subscribers with a 99% not subscribed viewer rate, a game with 4 players, 4 people playing the game, 4, and I can get the same amount of views. And he's got a lot of learning to do. Let's just say that. You know, YouTube, there's certain ways to do YouTube. I know the YouTube tricks. I know the YouTube algorithm. And this guy's got some learning to do. So imagine if I, I kind of, what I want to do, like, I'm not going to do this because it would be really mean to do, but I could do this. I absolutely could do this. All I would have to do is watch this guy's new channel, and as soon as he puts out a Delta Force guide, I do the same thing. Within 1 to 2 hours, I could put out the exact same guide about the exact same thing, but with my own voice and my own spin on it and my own way of making a guide, and then his video would be completely dead forever. And I guarantee you, with a game like Delta Force, if I were to make these guides, which I'm not because I hate the game sucks, but if I did, those videos would get around 20 to 35,000 views initially, and then they would sit in the algorithm, and as long as the game Delta Force is still being played years later, these videos would hit 50k to 100k to 200 to 400 to 700k views. Not kidding, and that depends on the player base and how often the game changes and how relevant the information to the guides are. But this guy isn't a guide channel. He's just like the PvP montage kill dudes like channel, and it's not even that good. It's just music over kill montages. So again, it's not a thing, but it's a thing that I could do. And the thing is, yes, there are bigger fish on YouTube, and they could do that to me. You'll notice that when Asmongold makes a react video, he uses the same title as the video he's reacting to, and then suddenly, when they search for that video, he is the #1 result and not the original video. It's the same type of thing, right? And yes, that is something that I could absolutely do to this guy and to just make his channel dead in the water. But I'm not going to do that. I don't care. I don't even hate the guy. He hates me, and that's his loss. Whoops. Sorry, Buster. But I've got better things to do with my free time. And then this guy's a YouTuber, and he doesn't understand the YouTube game, because he is, like, hyper-fixated on subscriber count to monthly view count, or just view count in general of recent uploads, bro. Like, there are channels out there that have millions of subscribers that have completely killed their content, or they're making content that they want to make that other people don't want to watch. And I'll give an example. So back in the day, there was a YouTube channel called Epic Meal Time. It is where they, like, make crazy food and eat it. I don't know what they do now. Their content sucks now, but the channel has 6.72 million subscribers and a monthly view count of 132,000. How many of those are long form? Let me check. Okay, so 131,000 long form views, and I'm doing like 5 to 6 times those numbers, right? And so I am outperforming a channel with 6.7 million subscribers with 150k. So you have to realize, as a YouTuber, your subscriber count means diddly squat. It means jack shit. It does not mean anything at all. I could start a brand new YouTube channel with no subscribers and still easily get this amount of monthly long form views, even with Albion, even if I used a voice changer and was a girl and had a little VTuber avatar. None of that matters. It's the content that matters and the way the algorithm works, and yeah. So, the fact that this guy is trying to, like, dunk on me for lower than normal view counts when he isn't even... He'll never reach those view counts, ever, in his Twitch, YouTube career, especially with the account name he has. He's never reaching it. Not even close. And then this guy's butthurt because he thinks that I am gatekeeping people from going to the black zone so that him and his cronies can kill them and milk them for, content and free loot. And the thing is that, yeah, I'm one of the first and really only people to actually do the homework and the math and the research to show that the yellow zone, especially back then, was just better. It's just better. So why would you waste time and do it? Like, it's not fun to be prey. It's not fun to be hunted down and killed and have your loot stolen in this game. It absolutely isn't. Unless you're some sort of weird masochist or something. I happen to be a sadist. I want to do the hunting and killing. And if you're a masochist, then, you know, go run around on an ox with crappy gathering gear and don't mount up when I charge you or something. I don't know, man. He then claims that I was being super hateful towards other content creators for no reason. So I've never been openly any of that towards any other creator ever, but they have done it to me, and when they do it to me, then I will do a quick little quip like, yeah, whatever, man, and then I move on, because, again, they're all beneath me. They're all beneath me. It's not like Asmongold is punching down on me, and if he was, like, who cares, right? Like, it's freaking Asmongold, dude. Clean out your sink or something, bro. But, like, the thing is that I am the one that was attacked first, and for me not to fight back, it's just a weird mentality. But then again, these content creators, they circle the wagons, they sniff each other's farts, they collab with each other, so they're going to spin the story that they want to live and not the actual truth of the matter. He then claims that my videos were debunked, and they never were debunked. There was one content creator named Levy that tried to debunk things, but whenever he actually, like, back in the day, we did solo dungeons. We didn't have open world. The game was a different place, right? And I had, you know, solo dungeon fame per hour video. This is how much fame you would get. This is how you do it. This is the build you use. And then I would show full, unedited, uncut, you know, video footage of me doing it and showing the numbers and proving it. And then this Levy guy was like, nah, I can't do that. And then he made a video where he did, you know, a similar build and did dungeons. And it was very clear that this guy could not run the dungeon as nearly as fast as me. He was very mechanically inept at doing the dungeon. And this guy would seed and maul in his Discord like every freaking day, and he would even like say things like, I'm using a voice changer and that I don't actually have a girlfriend. The usual suspect stuff, right? And, you know, I didn't really think much of it because, you know, at the end of the day, everyone can just see him trying to do the solo dungeon and being very mechanically bad at it, right? And so nothing was debunked. There has been no debunks. All right, and, you know, but because this guy is just, like, this is one of those guys that if he says it enough times, people are going to believe him or something, or at least maybe that's what he's wanting, but that's not how the internet works, that's not how the truth works, that's not how data collection works. This guy also makes up stuff that I have a Discord with multiple channels where there's a lot of hate going on. No, that's not me. That's an imposter. You probably joined Droopy Worm's Discord where everyone's name swolled into you or something. I don't know. But that's not my server is completely empty. And even before that, before there was a questionnaire, when everyone was, like I said, I've already talked about this earlier in the video, the Discord was just memes, soy jacks, talking about, you know, wagey life, like working at Subway, and video games. That's all it was. That's literally it. And, yeah, so I don't understand, like, where this stuff's coming. This dude's just, like, he's just completely making up stuff, hoping that people, like, take the bait or something. And then the guy states that if you don't believe me, you can Google it. And when you Google it, there's literally no proof. There is nothing but endless and baseless claims from the same circle of haters that have hated me forever. But, you know, I do my homework, and so I look this guy up. You know, I check, you know, his Discord server. I check his little private friend networks. And what do you know? The dude is extremely hateful towards Americans. The dude is extremely hateful towards the poor. The dude is insanely hateful and, you know, borderline, like, just murderous towards people that are uneducated. Guess what categories I fall under in that list. So, it's funny, like I can literally pull up, and the dude linked his, like, YouTube page, so you know it's his actual Discord and stuff. And it's not like a faker or an imposter, because an imposter cannot link the YouTube channel to the Discord account without access to the YouTube accounts, right? So it's so weird and so funny to me that that's how this dude operates, where he claims that I'm these things, but he himself is actually these things, and it's like, you know, I could expose it, but I'm not, because I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's beneath me. They are insects. They are literal who's. They will be forgotten in a few years. I won't even remember the interaction. And see, I would rather spend my time making friends and cool memories than worrying about these dudes and trying to, you know, fix their hateful ways And, they're just going to continue to make up garbage about whoever they don't like. Like, wait, this guy, he's doing Delta Force content. Well, wait until he finds some red-blooded American who's, like, super freedom of speech, ready in that game or whatever. And he's going to butt heads with him and say the same crap and do the same things. And it's just going to be repeat forever. He's never going to grow. He's never going to mature. He's never going to evolve into an actual content creator. He will just be forever be some salty little twerp. That's it. And then this guy says that people have infiltrated the Discord. No. There was a time when the Discord was open to everyone, and everyone could join, including all the spies and all the trolls and all the blah, 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 right? And nothing happened during that time. And then when I closed it up and had the questionnaire, no one passed the questionnaire. So that's the thing. 99% failure rate, and the people that actually did pass, they join an empty server where there is no discussion because there is no one to talk to. They idle there for a week and get kicked for AFK. Like, there's nothing. It's been that way for years. The questionnaire has been up for years, and no one passes it, so there is no one to interact with on the server. Like, if you were to, right now, if you were to join the Discord server and pass the questionnaire, you would just be in an empty server with just me. There's no one there. There's no one there. And you may join and be like, well, I see other names. Yeah, okay, so there's a guy that doesn't post there who I know from World of Warcraft back in the day, and my girlfriend. Wow, dude, wow. Wow, that's it. That's it. And she doesn't post. Like, who are you going to talk to? You going to talk to me? Okay, what are you going to talk about? You going to talk about video games? Okay, cool. Well, but no, there's not secret infiltrators with screenshot. Everything screenshotted is fake. Everything screenshotted is an imposter. It's a fake account, and you could tell because the avatars are off. The account is weird. The way they type, like, that's the biggest tell if there's someone impostering me or not. The way that they type does not match how I type. I have a very distinct style of typing to the point where I can be recognized on 4chan with how I type and the way I structure my sentences and so on and so forth, right? So these imposters don't have that figured out, and it's very obvious it ain't me. Then the dude goes on this wagey rant saying that I'm an employee of the company, which I'm not. But he says that I am. I don't work for SBI. They have never cut me a check for anything. I would let you guys know immediately, and I'd be like, no, they paid me, no, right? And make a big funny little video about it. But essentially, he's like, oh, how can you have one of your employees act the way he does outside of the game? And it's like, well, for one, the guy that he's talking about, Flaccid Baron, acted that way towards me first. Here's the thing. I have never interacted with that dude. I never talked to him, never played with him. And, from my perspective, he's a red-blooded American. He's got the trucker hat. He likes big-chested women. He drinks the beer. He's everything that, the stereotypical American thing is, right? And I was like, this guy's probably cool. And, of course, before I even ever get a chance to interact with him, the dude hated my guts. The dude wanted me dead, homeless, on the street. And I was like, why? I've never done anything to this guy. I've never done a single thing for this guy to hate me. But he surrounded himself with people that hated me. And so he is a sheep that will follow the herd. And therefore, he automatically hated me, right? And it's like, okay, whatever. I don't care. But I started looking into it a little bit because when people do certain actions, it needs to be investigated. And when I did some investigating, I found a lot of very fishy and weird and unusual things about the entire situation with that guy. And I'm not going to make it public. I'm not really going to talk about it. But you can't believe everything you read and hear and say. Also, the dude is probably one of the wealthier of the creators. I mean, hyper wealthy. So it's really weird that he would have like a donation thing. That's super weird. But also his family, they're politicians, lawyers, and doctors. Like, very powerful, very wealthy family, okay? Which is interesting. Dude lived in a very nice area, very rich house, and so on and so forth. And it's like, what's the real story here? And then, you would read stories like, oh, he's stuck in bed and he can't leave the bed. But then you go to Craigslist and you have some local homeboys do a little reconnaissance, and oh, he's out grocery shopping. He's driving around. What? What? Really? Well, that story doesn't add up. Something's amiss here. And then he, supposedly died. Supposedly. I don't have proof that he didn't or did. We'll just believe that he did out of, just in case, right? But whenever, someone that's such a family man with a bunch of loved ones like that, when something like that happens, you don't wait months to post the obituary. You don't wait forever to make the announcements. Like there was an announcement, oh, he died on this day, and then it took forever for there to be a posting about it. You would think that him and his family and his relatives would want to know about it not a month later after it happened. I don't know. I think that's very unusual and suspect. But other than that, I haven't bothered to hire the Craigslist homeboys to do any more reconnaissance, because I honestly don't care. If the dude wanted to stop playing Albion and get a bag, good on him. And if not, if he just wanted some extra casherinos for his kid and wife, even though he had plenty anyway, then hey, he got the bag, good on him. Regardless if it's true or not, it is what it is. The dude hated my guts, and here's the thing: he openly hated my guts, wanted me dead, wanted me homeless, wanted me broke on the streets, barefoot and dying. And so why would I ever have any kind of, oh, well, it's okay now because he's allegedly dead. It's okay that he said all and wanted all these bad things, even though, why is it okay for him to have those hateful feelings towards me, but it's not okay for me to believe it? Isn't that a little suspect? That's really weird, right? That's super duper weird. And I know that people have this people are very easy to feel grief. People like churches and a lot of institutions will control people based purely on making them feel a grievance. Okay? And so all these people that automatically just they side with him. They side with him. He was the aggressor. He was the original hater. I didn't do anything to him. I never did. I never even did anything in the game to him ever. I just know that he didn't like me and he talked a lot of crap about me. And again, why would you do that to someone you've never met, you've never talked to, and you've never played with? So at the end of the day, he's just a hater, and it's not my problem. And on that topic, one day I too will die. And when I do, dude, how many people do you think are going to come out and be like, oh, Swolbidgy was such a good boy, he didn't do anything, and his content was so good, right? But you got to call these people out. You got to be like, listen, the usual suspects, you guys hated his guts, you're freaking popping champagne that he's dead, you're celebrating, the whole SBI office is having a pizza party. I know that's what y'all are going to do, but at the end of the day, oh man, it's such a tragedy, oh, it's so bad, oh no. No, it's not. People can't be real with themselves because they're too afraid of being judged by others based on their views. But I'm not that way. I will openly tell you how I feel and how I think, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to be bend the knee to the group think. I'm not going to, oh, well, society wants me to act this way, so I'll act this way. And you'll see it. You'll see it. If I were, if Albion's still around and I happen to die from a gang shooting, or whoops, I slipped off of a cliff and broke my neck or something, and you guys will eventually hear about it, whatever. And dude, people are they're gonna do the same crap. Oh man, oh I really miss Swolbidgy. Oh man, and it's gonna be the haters saying. It's gonna be the haters chasing that sympathy clout. That's what I'm calling it, sympathy clout. I don't chase that. I don't give a shit. But I am entitled to my opinion about what do people do when they are possibly passing on. Now, a while back, you'll remember that the world had a global virus thing that spread around. I'm not going to say the name, but you know the one. And I happen to have caught it. And there was a video that I made, an Albion video that I made before I was rushed off to the hospital to die. Well, I didn't die, I survived. But you know what that video was about? It wasn't me asking for money. It was me telling you guys to help Professor Pew Pew, a Twitch streamer, because his channel got hacked, and I was bringing awareness to it that you guys should help him out and subscribe to his secondary channel so he can get back on his feet and monetize that stuff, because losing a YouTube channel sucks. He managed to get it back from the hack or whatever, so everything's good. But what's funny is that years later, when I started doing the stream snipe arc, and I never stream snipe him, it's just that the dude sniffs Nozori's farts for some reason. And so when Nozori had a problem with the stream sniping stuff and other creators, he took their side, even though on my literal deathbed, I was trying to help him out. Interesting much, right? You know, it really shows the character of some people, right? So next time his channel gets hacked, he's gonna, you know, I don't know. I'd probably still help him anyway. I'm just that kind of guy, right? Even though he doesn't like me. It is what it is. It's just, I don't know. I just want to talk about it. And then this guy talks about some literal Who PvPer that used a glitch. I'm not going to tell you the glitch at all because SBI does not like it when I talk about glitches. But it was a way to generate money in the game, silver. And the guy used a glitch. He got banned for it. And then 4 years later, he came back. He was like, yeah, I'm that guy, like an idiot. And then he got banned again. And I don't think, you know, those kind of bans should be permanent, but the dude is whinging, and he used this thing. He was like, the streamer I'm talking about, he was saying how a guy that steals a coffee from his work should not get fired. And it's like, he stole. Stealing is a crime. It is a crime punishable with fines and jail time. What I'm doing is merely... Like the things he claimed I did not do for one, but let's say I did, which I didn't, but expressing your right to freedom of speech, it breaks no crime, it breaks no law, it is totally allowed and encouraged where I'm from. I know where he's from, Slovakia, by the way, they probably don't have the same values. Also, I like how this specific YouTuber, like, literally tells you how to do the glitch, which it doesn't work anymore. But if I were to make a video explaining how to do old glitches or old, you know, things that no longer work, SBI immediately is like, no, take that video down now. And they hold my account for ransom until I do it. And it's like, how come they do that to me but not anyone else? It's because I'm the only one who's getting actual views on my shit, right? I'm the only one who's actually getting watched by real people. Whereas these guys, you know, it's just passed around in a Discord, it's passed around on you know, less savory sites to boost the view count a bit, right? Whereas mine is completely organic, right? But also, this guy doesn't get views anyway. Like we said, it's like 50,000 monthly views, bro. Like, it would take him years to match one of my months. And then this guy goes on to say that the dude that used the glitch to get infinite money, it killed his YouTube and Twitch channels. And it's like, if getting banned from one game kills your whole channel, then you were never actually a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. You were just a one-trick pony. Like, me, I can go play other games and be a content creator there and do better than this guy. Like that's the thing, right? I could do better in almost any other mainstream game or similar game or whatever game, right? But do I want to? Do I want to is the question. And a lot of games I think suck, they're crap, and yeah, so... it's not about the views or the monies, and there's no money in Albion. They're like, the thing is, these guys are like, oh, people are making a living playing Albion and stuff, and it's like, well, maybe in their region. I've had viewers tell me that $1 an hour would allow them to pay all of their bills and have a surplus of food to eat on, whereas where I'm from, $1 an hour is way below poverty wage. Okay. So it all depends on where you live, and where I live, Albion does not pay the bills. Then this guy rants that Swole Benji's still making videos, even though there's been so many problems with him. What problems? What problems has there ever been with me? I have never cheated, hacked, glitched, exploited, duped, radared, or anything of the sort. And yeah, I did eat a 2-week ban because I defended myself against Nozori, which every single person knows is freaking wrong. But the Twitch fart sniffing, you know, wagon circlers they're not allowed to agree. They're not allowed to agree with it. Every single one of you knows this is a PvP game, and he chose to PvP me and lost. Why am I being punished for that? I don't know, but it just shows that you ever read that book like Animal Farm, how some animals have more rights than others or something. I don't know. That's basically what it is. It is employee of the company gets to do what they want, and anyone that dares play the game in their vicinity is punished. But this guy is ranting like crazy that one of his friends, I guess, I don't know if they're friends, literally exploited the game for infinite money, got banned. Like, oh, imagine you're the game dev. Imagine you're in charge of the game, and someone is creating infinite money out of nothing, like immediately, like instantly, right? And you don't ban them. Well, then what happens? They just go on to think it's okay, and they just keep doing it to like ruin your game and sink the economy, and it's over. It's literally over. And he's using the straw man to like vilify me for something I've never done, and it's just weird. It's like, oh, they ban dupers and exploiters, but they don't ban soul binging. Bad. I hate the company. It's like, excuse me? What? Right? Like, what? Is this dude even on the same planet? No, he's not. But this guy is literally actually malding, which means he's balding, over the fact that I'm not banned for having opinions outside of the game on things that don't matter about the game. Like, I'm not an official creator. Now, here's the thing. If SBI signed me as an official creator, and I got the little avatar and the giveaway codes, and there was a stipulation that's like, you are not allowed to say your own opinions. You are not allowed to be negative. You are not allowed to do this. Then I probably just would decline it and continue doing my own thing, right? And here's the thing. I actually got an offer by, the game Once Human? I got an offer from them, $10,000 a month if I, make content for their game, but I have to keep everything all smiles and all positivity all of the time. No negativity, no mean speak, no political opinions, no opinions on anything, just happy, go, China, #1 opinions, and smiles and happy faces and happy feelings, right? And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, but I'll still make videos for your game anyway, mwah, right? And so I do it for free, all right? But I'm not giving up the freedom of speech. I'm not giving up the freedom of my opinions on things just to make some corporate bigwig happy that I don't scare away some snowflake that is interested in the game or whatever, right? Like, they can just go watch someone else. But oh wait, this game Albion, there isn't anyone else that really does my content. There's one guy that copies my content slightly and pays an editor to make it look all snippy snappy, but it's just full of nothingness. It's like a hollow video. Like the packaging is there, and then you open, there's nothing inside. And I'm not going to say who that is. And he's doing all right for himself. He's doing okay. But there's just no substance in those videos. There's no soul. There's no soul. It's soulless corporate-made slop because the dude has in-real-life money, and he's paying some poor third-world editor to push it out. All right, that's it for the haters. Let's talk about the current state of the game now versus other games. So, the other big Albion-ish game, which is full loot PvP, would be EVE Online. Let's compare. If you take a 100-man guild fight, 100 versus 100, and you put them out in, the usual 8, tier 7, 7.1, flat 8, 8.1. All right, and let's say that 75% of the players in this guild fight die, and let's assume that all of their gear trashes, and that no one gets a reward chest for any of the fight. The whole fight was in vain. It ends in a draw somehow. I don't know. So if you take 150 people die, 150 people in tier 8 gear, and you have them die, right? The amount of real-life money lost is very low, right? If you take, the silver value to real-life dollar value, and you compare it, a big fight like that, it's a big fight, by the way, it's a massive fight. The real-life dollar value that gets evaporated from the game is insanely low compared to EVE Online, whereas in EVE Online, a similar fight is waged with roughly $378,000 worth of real-life money, and that is being evaporated in the game because the ship's blowing up the weapon parts and so on and so forth. When people say that Albion Online is the best PvP full loot game, it's like, in what regards? In what regards? Like, anyone who's super serious about economy, money, monetary real-life losses, or actual high-stakes PvP, Albion is baby mode stuff. Albion is the preschool. Albion is the toddler, and EVE Online is the cool, savvy teenager, or the big business Wolf of Wall Street guy. I've never seen that movie, by the way, but That's how it compares in PvP, right? And then as far as PvE goes, all the reasons that PvE players would want to play this game, like, I want to tell you guys right now, there is a massive, massive market of girl gamers. What do girl gamers want? They want cute, cuddly little creatures. All right, so if you look at League of Legends, there's the Poro, little fluffy white thing, right? You have like games like Paleo with the little fluffy creatures. I don't know their names. Kappas, Chappas. Okay, Chappas. I have my girlfriend correcting me in the background, and you know, all sorts of little cutesy, wootsy stuff. You know, that looks nice and pretty. And, you know, characters can play dress up, and like, Once Human has become a girl gamer casual freaking cozy gamer haven. It's not full of edgelord PvP Rust players. Like, if you go on Twitch and you go to Once Human streams, it's all girls. It's just all girls. and like, at the end of, like, a big raid fight, which is called the Prime War in Once Human, all the girls stand around and compare outfits and cute dance emotes. Go look at Fortnite right now. Fortnite. They all play like some pop singer girl, and they all do little dances and try on little outfits, and that's why they play the game day in and day out. They have overtaken the consumer market in gaming, right? It's no longer edgy teenagers who work shitty jobs at McDonald's who just want to kill stuff and talk a bunch of crap. That's like actual... You know, Zoomers aren't even into video games anymore. They're spreadsheeting, min-maxing, bone-crushing, mewing, you know, looks-maxing, whatever it is they do, right? But, and when you look at the current gen of gamers, all the newer YouTubers and Twitch streamers coming to this game, they're all, like, old, retired military vets. There's, like, 20 of them that I've seen in the last month that just, you know, that have started. They're all old dudes. Some of them are, they've disgraced their country and moved to, like, the Philippines because they're a sex pest. Whatever. It's kind of cringe for people to do that, I think, in my opinion. But there you go with my opinions, right? Oh, no, now that same guy, he's going to, you know, sniff the farts of the Twitch harem and say that I do mean things and blah, blah, blah. Good. You know, go make a Reddit thread about it. Anyway, and I say that because the dude deleted my, like, I was trying to help him on his video, and he deleted my comment. So, meh. But anyway... the game, like other games, just, you know, they know what's going on, but Albion has nothing for girl gamers. It has nothing for the casual gamer either. Like, when I started playing Albion, you know what I liked doing the most? I liked to grow crops. I just wanted to grow and sell crops, and I just wanted a game where I can log in, and I can grow corn or something, and then I can just... sell, you know, flowers or, you know, potatoes or whatever to the market and get some money, and then I could use that money and upgrade my house, and I could, you know, buy a better wood chopping axe and run around and chop trees. You know, I was playing Harvest Moon online with PvP or whatever, right? And if I really got bored, I can go fight people and die or whatever. And you may be thinking, but you can still do that. No, you cannot play that part of the game without paying either real money or an exorbitant amount of in-game silver for premium. And me, being a multi-billionaire, I can afford it forever. I can afford premium forever till the end of days. However, why would I pay money to do an in-game activity that I don't profit from? That's insanity. Yeah, oh, you're growing the virtual crops. Why? I'm just paying money to grow crops? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? There's no reason to do that. I have no reason to do that. So, until the games... Like this is the main thing. Until the game solves the problem of premium costing more than what crops can generate, it's never going to return to the cozy days. And yes, I know the problem that had, because I was part of that problem. And the problem is that if premium costs 6 million silver and I could grow crops and make, you know, hold on, let me do some math. Okay, so if I could spend 6 million silver and at the end of the month, with very minimal work on farms, make 15 million silver, that is a deficit of, or 9 million. That's 9 million silver profit, which means now, on the next month, I can make another character who can do the same thing. And then I did that until I had 100 characters. So when you have 100 characters making 500,000 silver a day, I was generating 50 million silver a day for 30 days, which is 1.5 billion silver, and that was costing me 6 million times 100, 600 million silver, which means I was profiting 900 million silver a month. And I understand that, you know, when someone is making 900 million silver a month, that they can do a lot of things to the game. They can control economies. They can become the cartel, sort of. Not exactly. Cartel makes way more. But there's a lot of things that you can do over the normal player. However, that was what was fun, was growing the crops and selling them. And, you know, I wasn't oversaturating the market with crops or anything, because the crops were being used by the crafters, by the people making food, and they were getting rich too, and everyone was happy because food prices were down, and people could, you know, go with more expensive foods for their PvP adventures, and so on and so forth. But what was the main reason they took this away is that once someone like me establishes that, I never, ever, ever have to pay real money to ever get premium ever again on any amount of characters I would ever want, right? And so they realized this, and they started, you know, artificially inflating the cost of premium to what it is now, 29.4 million. So if I were to grow crops, I would essentially lose 15 million silver a month. Okay, why would I pay 15 million silver a month to grow crops? Well, obviously, I there's no mathematical reasoning for it. There's just none. There is absolutely none. The only profitable crop growing right now is in black zones, with like a zone, like people that control the zones and stuff. Which I don't know where it's at on the map. But if you've ever went to a black zone and you saw like random cows in a pasture or pumpkin patches or whatever, then you know what I'm talking about. It's just not worth doing. And so when a game becomes, like, has an entire segment of it that's just not worth doing, people quickly figure that out. The word spreads, and they go and play something else. They go play. If there was another game where I could grow crops and sell the crops and eventually buy the best super weapon in the game and then go slay dragons with it or even beat up people with it, I would go play that in a heartbeat. I would immediately quit this game and go play that. But it doesn't really exist, you know? There's not a medieval fantasy RPG where I can grow crops and then buy the best, you know, crossbow in the game or whatever. It just doesn't exist. And a lot of games just don't get the crop growing stuff right anyway. So big bummer there. So for those of us stuck in Albion, we are forced to do other things. But, you know, we talked about the argument, you know, oh, if you want to PvE, there are better games for it. There might be better single-player games, but that's lonely, and I don't want to play by myself. I want to play in a world that is bustling and hustling around. Like, when you go to town, people are running around, they're getting repairs, they're doing crafting, they're buying and selling things, they're forming a party, they're getting ready to go out and gather or kill, and everyone's kind of doing their own little thing, and that's interesting. And even the former CEO, that was like his favorite thing about the game, was the game felt alive, right? And so, yeah, that's the current state of the game. You can still go to town. You can see people doing the things that they do. Whereas in a single-player game, yeah, there's like, oh, Animal Crossing. Wow, the little Egyptian cat girl's walking around. I wonder what she's going to talk about today or whatever, right? And, like, who cares? It's not a real character. Whereas, like, this guy, Clever Cav, look at him. Look at this dude. He's a member of Blueberry Poachers, and they're a guild for solo players? Okay, whatever, right? And what's he doing right now? He is on a tier 7 armored horse. He's got the war bow, the hunter jacket. Dude, what's this build? I don't know, man. He's also got a potato salad. So is he going to do some crafting? Yeah, he might be doing some crafting. I don't know what this guy's up to, but he's definitely up to something interesting, right? And right now, I guess he's AFK. But, you know, everyone's doing something. Like this guy, he's on an ox, and he's talking to the faction vendors. So he is probably doing a heart transport. No, he's not. He's turning around now. See, like, everyone's doing something. We got a guy on a bear here. This bear guy. This is probably a heart transporter. Maybe it's a scout bot. Who knows? right? People like, this guy's got the 4.75 staff. He's also skinning with it. I guess, you know, he's doing something. He's out here. Yeah, he's doing a heart transport. Look, go get him, Tiger. That's a free, dude. That's a free kill. That you pop that guy. That's 400 to 500k silver. That guy ain't getting away from a gank set, man. See, he's either gonna do his heart transport and make his 400k silver an hour, or someone's gonna pop him and be immediately wealthier for doing it, and they're gonna feel real good. See, it's an open and active world, whereas Animal Crossing is a fake little pixel cat, like, says something randomly generated at you. That's not a PvE experience. Okay, it's not a better PvE experience. It's not. Name another game where I can go do some PvE stuff that doesn't immediately get boring or has an endless forever grind. What, Lost Ark? Oh wait, that's all group stuff. I can't solo that. At least mid to late game. Once you get to the raid dungeons, you have to be with groups. And if you don't already have a big good group of friends that actively play and are good at the game, you are content locked forever. You're gate capped. Then you have Throne and Liberty, another game that you can't realistically solo. You can solo up to a point, but it's absolutely painful, boring, and there's no reason to even bother doing it. Whereas in Albion, I can chill in the save zones for eternity and get the same results, maybe not as fast as someone doing the world bosses. Of course, not as fast as a world boss guild, but that's fine. They get to fame up, I get to fame up, and then, when we fight in a 1v1, it's the better man can win, whatever. If I even want a 1v1, if I even want to fight at all. I don't have to fight if I don't want to, right? And the only real multiplayer games you can compare this to is RuneScape and EVE. And RuneScape definitely wins based on player count, player retention. There's more things to do in RuneScape than in Albion. There are more things to level up. It is a grindier game. The economy is better. The player base is bigger and more wholesome. And as far as YouTubing goes, RuneScape, the money is there, dude. The money is massive. Like, okay, take eCourt. Everyone likes to, eCourt. If he was a RuneScape YouTuber in an alternate universe, when eCourt got banned for RNTing to pay medical bills for his family. Real thing that happened. And he's not permid, right? But whatever. He was allowed to come back. But anyway, in a reality where he actually played old school RuneScape instead, the dude he would have like 10 times his numbers and 3 to 4 times his income. He would be happier with better friends, and he wouldn't be like backstabbed by Coco or whoever. He'd even have a better time in PvE and everything else. But, maybe he doesn't like RuneScape. Maybe it's not about the money. Maybe it's about playing something newer or fresh. Me, I've already played old school RuneScape. I played it for a long time, back in 2004. I don't have a reason to go back and play it, okay? If I did it as a job, sure, I could definitely be in a better spot. Financially, maybe. But would I be happier? Would I be more entertained? Probably not. I don't know. It's something I've already done, and I don't like to repeat old games. I mean, I played Diablo 2 for 7 years. Wonderful, awesome game. I've done everything there is to do in that game. And yeah, I went back and played Diablo 2 Resurrection. And it was okay for a little while, and then I got bored of it because I had been doing it previously in my life for the past 7 years. So, until there is something new that comes out, and no, Warborn is not it. Warborn is just faction PvP, except it's already gotten to the point where massive clans kind of abandon you and let you not participate with them in the open world in that game. That game is just... It's got a long way to go before it gets my respect, and, well, it'll never have my respect unless the devs pay me or apologize. That's all they have to do is apologize to me, but they're not going to. I have no reason to, promote their game with how they treated me, so... Sucks to be them. They made their choice. It is what it is. But what about the PvP? Well, for instance, not everyone wants to grind months at a time to maximize their spec. Here's the fun thing that I just love, like... When I go to, PvP Twitch streamers on an alt account and just kind of hang out and listen to people talk, not so much the streamer, but just, the audience, they'll be like, man, I gotta fame up swords. And it's like, okay. And they'll open their, Destiny board or talk about it or whatever, right? Let's look at my swords. My swords aren't that good. But yeah, for instance, their Destiny board will look something like this. They have, max carving sword, because why not? And everything else is pretty damn low. And then, 2 months later, they'd be like, all right, I finally maxed out dual swords, and I'm working on Claymore. And I'm like, what? It's been 2 months, and you only maxed out one? Are you kidding me, bro? Dude, you know what I did the other day? I watched anime for 6 hours, okay? I watched a whole season of anime, which is 12 episodes, 20 minutes each, so 3 hours. Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's, wait. No, that's 4 hours, okay? And then I watched an anime movie of the same, brand or whatever, the same series, which was 2 hours. So, yes, I spent 6 hours watching anime. Start to finish, I finished, the 12 episodes for the season, and then I watched the movie. And in that 6 hours, while I was watching anime, I just had my full 8.4 gear set, running around the yellow zone, blowing up mob camps. I would run past with my mount, aggro all the mobs, dismount, push one button, my E button. They would all die in like a few seconds. And then I would, hover around, vacuum up the silver, pick up the items, and then go to the next camp. And I did that for 6 hours with, combat fame credits enabled and a satchel. No premium, by the way, no premium. And in that 6 hours of time, I burned through some silver, but I've got plenty of silver from how I play. And then afterwards, I used the combat fame credits to level up a few weapons, and I again, in 6 hours, I was able to level up 2 weapons and have some still left over. Okay? Not like, you can see I have 157 million combat fame credits. Yeah, obviously I've got plenty in bank, right? But what I did was I recorded the amount that I had before the anime, then I recorded the amount that I had after the anime, and it was enough for 2.5 weapons for specialization, not mastery, specialization, all right? So, yeah, I was, I got that done in a single sitting, not even in a full day, just a mere measly 6 hours. But these Le PvP streamers in their Le PvP community where they go to mists and they fight all day and they get on the top of the kill boards and blah, 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 blah. In 2 months, they did half of what I did in 6 hours. And you just have to wonder, like, the current state of the game is in the current state it is because people refuse to accept the truth. They refuse to play the game efficiently. They refuse to, actually put in the work to do the grind. And, yeah, so there you go. They, if only they knew how easy it was. But here's the thing, right? You take a PvP guy, and it took him 2 months to do half of what I did in 6 hours, and you tell him to do the same grind I did, he's going to be miserable the whole time. He's going to be absolutely furious. He's going to be, like, bored out of his mind. He's not going to want to do it. He won't even want to invest in the 8.4 gear to one-shot the camps anyway. He's going to be too broke, probably. He's going to he's not going to like those 6 hours, right? But if you put me in his situation where I go out into the mist and have to fight a bunch of people and get them and kill them and slowly farm and slowly fame farm, I'm going to go out of my mind with how inefficient I'm playing. I'm going to be so crazy that I'm like, what? This is a waste of my time. Why am I doing this? This is completely inefficient. This is an absolute... This is not how anyone should play the game, right? And, it's different strokes for different folks, I guess. But essentially, I still think my way is better because after you endure the 6 hours, you can then spend the rest of your time. And like I said, it was like, 1 to 2... It was like 1 to 2 months. And you could spend the rest of that time having fun with your maximum spec, dunking on people in the mists, instead of slowly whittling your way to the top and losing a bunch of fights that you should have won because you have worse item power than your opponent. And when you compare it to other games, especially modern games, they usually cut down the grind so you can get to the fun parts, whereas Albion does not incentivize, like, the Albion itself and the community that is not me incentivizes the most slowest, painstaking, and annoying ways to progress your character, to the point where people are just card swiping to stay in, and that's where the money's at. Whereas other games respect your time and either limit the grind so you don't have to grind as much, or they're very open and the community itself is very open, like fan sites and YouTubers and Reddit all tell you the actual most optimal ways to level up. so that you aren't wasting a month and a half doing 6 hours of work. Does that make sense? And that's where Albion just fails versus other games, both in community, game design, fun having, and so on. And so, you know, my whole job when I've been making these videos is to just help people not suffer that way. Have you ever? I want you to do an experiment. Go to Twitch, find someone with a few viewers who's brand new to the game. They'll usually put in their title, "I'm brand new," blah blah blah, and then check on them and see what they're doing, and then check on them a week later and a month later. And I guarantee you, they're gonna be poor. Now, this applies to the people that don't do research, don't, you know, find their way into a guild, and just do their own thing. They're gonna be poor, broke, and very low spec in all of that time. It will be completely and utterly wasted. I have seen countless new streamers to this game who are running around with a full, like, tier 3 gathering set of every tool, even in zones that they can't possibly gather those resources in because they don't exist, who are running around in, like, tier 3 gear after, like, 2 weeks of playing. It's like, what? What are you doing? You can skip to tier 6 in, like your first hour, dude. What's going on? Just watch a guide. Come on, man. Please. It's suffering just to watch. And then you have, like, the people with peer pressure, like, you know, they'll tell a new player, "Oh, you should go immediately to the black zone. You should immediately do this." And it's like, when you watch TV and you see everyone drinking and smoking, I'm sure you just immediately have to do those things too, right? It's weird to me that people can't critically think or think for themselves. I don't know. You don't really see this in other games. Usually, 1 or 2 or 3 YouTubers spreadsheet out and make the info absolutely public of the absolute best ways to do things. And then everyone is like, "Yeah, thanks for doing that research." And then they all do it. And then everyone's in the high tier zones. And then the game devs are pressured to release more content and so on and so forth. Whereas in Albion, when I do the homework and do the research and I'm like, "Hey guys, here's the most efficient way of doing things," the entire community is like, "Oh my god, we have to put a stop to this guy and his information. Quick, make up something about him. Oh, he's hateful, he's mean, he's evil, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's a criminal, whatever." And then, "Oh, we gotta tell new players that his info is false, his info is wrong." And it's just so weird to me. I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism, if it's like the devs not wanting their game to be solved so quickly. I have no idea why it is the way it is with Albion and nothing else, but that is the current state of the game versus other games. And with that said, that's the video. It's a long one. I don't care, whatever. I hope you enjoyed listening to my voice today. It's very hot where I'm at, and I usually don't get hot very easily, and someone's fire alarm is going off, so maybe, I don't know, I should probably go investigate. But with that said, I'll see y'all later. Click the video on the right side of your screen, and if you don't, here's what's going to happen. You're going to want to go somewhere, and a massive gang of really mean-looking criminals is going to inhabit the parking lot, and you're going to have to drive 20 minutes to go to another location to shop or eat or do whatever you want to do, because you're not risking getting out of your car and walking through the massive, literal prison inmate-looking dudes inhabiting the parking lot. There you go.